In the heart of the American Revolution, a fight for freedom and independence, one man's name would echo through history not for heroism, but for betrayal. Benedict Arnold. Picture this: a war-torn land, patriots battling for liberty, and a soldier who could have been a legend. Instead, he became America's most infamous traitor, nearly selling out his country in a plot so shocking it still haunts us today. This is his story, a tale of bravery, bitterness, and a betrayal that almost changed everything. It all begins in 1741 in Norwich, Connecticut, where Benedict Arnold was born into a decent family. Life wasn't easy though. His dad hit hard times, turning to drink after his business crumbled, forcing young Benedict to drop out of school and work to keep his family afloat. But he wasn't one to stay down. He grew up to become a successful merchant, trading goods and building a name for himself. That hunger for success, that need to be seen and respected, it burned deep inside him. When the Revolutionary War kicked off in 1775, Arnold didn't hesitate. He jumped into the patriot cause, signing up as a colonel in the Continental Army. Right away, he showed he was no ordinary soldier. He teamed up with Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys to seize Fort Ticonderoga in New York. It was a bold move, and it paid off. Those cannons they grabbed helped push the British out of Boston later on. People started to notice this guy had guts. Arnold wasn't done proving himself. He led a wild expedition through the rugged Maine wilderness to attack Quebec. It was brutal, freezing cold, starvation, endless marches. The attack failed, and Arnold took a bullet in the leg, but his men saw a leader who'd risk it all. Then came 1777, the battles of Saratoga, a make-or-break moment for the Americans. Arnold charged into the fight, fearless, turning the tide for victory. He got hit again, same leg, and this time it was bad. Saratoga was a turning point in the war, but here's the twist. Arnold didn't get the praise he thought he deserved. Other officers like Horatio Gates soaked up the glory, and that stung badly. By 1778, Arnold's star was still rising, sort of. He was put in charge of Philadelphia after the British pulled out. A big job. There he met Peggy Shippen, a beautiful 18-year-old from a rich family with ties to the British. Arnold, twice her age at 38, fell hard and married her. Peggy wasn't just a pretty face though. Her loyalist connections, including a British officer named Major John Andre, would soon pull Arnold into dangerous waters. In Philadelphia, things started to unravel. Arnold lived large. Fancy parties, shady deals, way beyond what he could afford. People whispered he was crooked, using his power to make a quick buck. It caught up with him in 1779 when he faced a court-martial. The charges? Misusing his position. He was found guilty of a couple small things. And George Washington himself gave him a slap on the wrist. Washington liked Arnold, even stuck up for him. But that public scolding, it crushed him. All those battles, all that blood, and this was the thanks he got. That's when the cracks really showed. Arnold started feeling like the patriots didn't appreciate him. Congress ignored him. Officers outranked him, and now this humiliation. Peggy, with her British-friendly family, might have nudged him too. In 1779, he did the unthinkable. He reached out to the enemy, offering to switch sides for cash and a spot in the British Army. Loyalty? Out the window. The big moment came in 1780. Arnold was handed command of West Point, a fortress on the Hudson River, so crucial that losing it could split the colonies in two and hand the war to the British. For Arnold, it was perfect, a bargaining chip. He started feeding secrets to Major John Andre, the British go-between for their top dog, Sir Henry Clinton. The deal? Surrender West Point for $20,000, a fortune back then. Imagine the tension building. Arnold's passing maps, troop numbers, everything the British need. Andres slipping through the lines, carrying the plans. But then, disaster. For the British, anyway. In September 1780, American militiamen nab Andre. He's got papers stuffed in his boots, papers that scream treason, and Arnold's name is all over them. Word gets back to Arnold just in time. He bolts, racing to a British ship, the HMS Vulture, leaving Peggy and their kids behind. The fallout was explosive. George Washington, who trusted Arnold like a brother, was gutted. Whom can we trust now? He is said to have muttered. Across the colonies, people burned Arnold in effigy, cursing his name. This wasn't just a soldier gone rogue. This was personal. Now, let's zoom in on Peggy for a second. She's no innocent bystander. Some say she was in on it, helping Arnold write those secret letters. When Washington showed up after Arnold fled, Peggy put on a show. Screaming, crying, acting like she was losing her mind. Was it real? Or a clever trick to dodge suspicion? Either way, it worked. She wasn't touched. Then there's Major Andre. He was young, charming, a real gentleman. When the Americans caught him, they didn't want to hang him, but rules are rules. Spies don't get mercy. His execution was grim, and even some patriots shed tears. Meanwhile, Arnold, the guy who started it all, sailed away scot-free. So what happened to Arnold after he jumped ship? The British made him a brigadier general, and he led attacks against his old side, burning Richmond, Virginia, hitting hard. But he wasn't the star he'd been. After the war, he moved to England, chasing business deals that mostly flopped. He died in 1801, broke and ignored, a shadow of the man he once was. Back in America, his betrayal lit a fire under the patriots. Sure, it hurt, but it also woke them up, made them fight harder. The British? They learned the hard way that betting on traitors doesn't always pay off. There's more to this tale. Little threads that make it even wilder. Take the story of Arnold's leg. Shot up twice, a symbol of his early courage. Some say when he died, they buried that leg with honors, but the rest of him? Tossed aside like trash. True or not, it's a perfect picture of his split legacy. And the drama of Andre's capture? Picture it. Militiamen stopping a stranger on a dusty road, rifling through his stuff, finding those papers. Hearts pounding as they realize what's at stake. Washington racing to West Point only to find Arnold gone. Minutes too late. It's the kind of edge-of-your-seat stuff you can't make up. Arnold's name lives on too, in a way he never wanted. In America, call someone a Benedict Arnold, and you're saying they're a backstabber. Books, movies, they all paint him as the ultimate villain. Once he could have stood with the greats, Washington, Jefferson. Instead, he's the guy we love to hate. Benedict Arnold's story is a roller coaster. Hero one day, traitor the next. It's about a man who fought like a lion, bled for his cause, then let pride and bitterness eat him alive. He almost sold out America, nearly handed victory to the British on a silver platter. But in the end, he lost everything: honor, home, even his name. His tale warns us. Loyalty matters, and resentment can ruin you. From battlefield glory to a lonely grave, Benedict Arnold went from America's hope to its heartbreak. A traitor etched forever in the shadows of history.